That's better. So, good afternoon, everybody. Chris Wilson with Modified Independence, here with day 2 of my series about ambulatory devices for when people are non-weight bearing or partial weight bearing or anything like that. Yesterday, I had a video about knee scooters, just because that's typically a higher level of independence that's able to operate those and move themselves around with those. What you did not see was a video about crutches. I'd have to check my garage, but I'm pretty sure I don't have any crutches. I don't typically work with people that use crutches, although the purpose of these videos is to show people that uh, obviously once a lower extremity injury has occurred, they're at a greater risk of falling, whether it's from interactions of medications, including pain medications, the fact that you've trusted both of these for your entire life and now you can only use one of them. So things happen, right? Whatever happened to cause the injury to one of the feet, could actually cause another injury. And obviously, the less stable you are, the more likely to injure your cabeza, and we don't want that. Brain injuries and spinal cord injuries are obviously two of the most debilitating injuries, and when you lose your center of gravity and you lose your balance, that's when we really worry about those things. So I am sitting here on the trusty, dusty Rollator. um, a lot of my patients just refer to it as a walker. In my opinion, they are overprescribed, overused, and often used incorrectly. um, on numerous occasions, I have seen people getting pushed around on these like a wheelchair, and that is absolutely the worst thing that could be done because of the high center of gravity, the very narrow wheels. They are notorious for tipping over, especially in a case like this. Going into the bathroom here, I have a lip that leads from the carpet to the tile, and you can see how easily just pushing back a little bit, this thing actually wants to tip over, mostly because most of my weight is behind the center of gravity of this thing. So I'll turn to the side so you can see. All right, so the center of gravity of this chair is going to be right here at this pivot point, but you can see my caboose and everything, and my spine is actually behind that center of gravity. So anything it could possibly cause that, I mean, it's very easy to tip them back. I can hit the brakes and actually tip it back pretty easily. So, we really don't want to be pushing somebody around on these things. However, I have had patients who were partial weight bearing and they would put their knee on the thing, especially if space was a consideration or whatever. I still am not going to recommend this. So let's just use this from the standpoint of a partial weight bearing. So, I can put my foot on the floor. Partial weight bearing is like 25 to 50%. So I can put a little bit of weight on my foot. Let's just say I weigh 200 pounds. Yeah. Let's just say I weigh 200 pounds. That means that I could technically put about 100 pounds on this foot and 100 pounds on this foot. So partial weight bearing would be like, maybe 50 pounds on this foot and 150 on this foot. Um, so in this case, we still have the elongated office here, the tub transfer bench in the tub. You've seen that video. I had to change the shower head back out because we had family in town and they didn't need the handheld shower. But you can also see the toilet safety rails on the toilet and the never, don't touch, never use, not okay suction cup death bars. I just have it in there on the toilet just as a reminder of how extremely dangerous they are. So let's go back to our thing here. Obviously they stop by squeezing the brakes. That's a law of diminishing value though, because obviously the more times you squeeze those brakes, the more likely you are to shave a little bit of rubber off of the wheels, and they do wear out after a while, especially for people that walk a long distance, or they tend to, walk like this, right? They get worn out pretty quickly. So, in this case, we're gonna keep about 25% on this foot, right? So I get over that, that we have the caster wheels here, and they seem to make it over the edge of this pretty well, mostly because I'm putting, my body weight on the handles back here. So they make it over that transition from carpet to tile pretty well. Um, we would get in here and probably turn around a little bit without scraping up the walls, because I don't want my walls to look like a lot of my patients' homes. But we'd be able to kind of get this thing situated back here. It's quite a coordinated effort of squeezing and stepping and changing center of gravity and everything like that. But then we can lock the brakes, reach back for the toilet safety rails, and have our seat. Um, if necessary, obviously, if we got to take a bath or take a shower, we can get over here to the transfer bench. Again, like I was saying, this is an upstairs bathroom. It's not meant for a party. So there's not a lot of space in here. It's really a one-person job. But you could, you could manage with something like this and get around pretty well. But you'd have to have all of this other stuff in place, right? You'd have to make sure, like in this case, we've got a 32-inch door. We've got a comfort height toilet that has the rails on it. We've got a tub with this shower transfer bench. And if I was doing my diligence, would have a handheld shower. So, again, the purpose of these videos is to show that when there is a planned surgery, say somebody is partial weight bearing after having had the surgery and this is their ambulatory device, there's a very good opportunity to get us in the home to make these recommendations and then get a company in there that can deliver those things. If you've seen my other videos, we have a company here in Jacksonville locally that they are licensed, bonded, and insured to be able to deliver and set up the equipment. Unlike the therapists in home healthcare, they're not permitted to do that. But then the therapist in home healthcare can actually come in, adjust it to the appropriate height for you, and show you the safe way to use it. There's just specific roles that everybody has in this process. And after 15 years of doing this, I'm finding that there's a lot of patients that are left without answers because of the half open circle that was our healthcare system. Thankfully, with my company and this other company involved, we really closed that circle and are able to wrap our arms around these patients and provide them with the best possible service, which is identifying that they're a fall risk, getting a home safety assessment, getting the proper equipment delivered, and then training on the proper use of that equipment. And each individual person, all four of those things are four different entities that are completely separately licensed and insured, and none of those entities can do the thing that the other one does. So it's very important that we work together as a team to identify these people and help them get the resources in the community that they need, and also the resources in their home so that they can age in place successfully. So, that's me on my soapbox. I'm going to get off my shower chair. There we go. We're 25% on that foot. Can get stepped out here. And I think I'm going to head this way. Y'all have a good day. Till next time.